Welcome back to Royal Chronicles, the channel where no royal secret stays buried for long. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because trust me, you do not want to miss what we uncover week after week. And for those of you who've been riding with us from the beginning, you already know things are about to get very interesting. Now, before we dive in, I need you to do one thing. Stay with me until the very end of this video, because what Prince Andrew allegedly demanded from King Charles before everything fell apart. It will completely change the way you see the future of the royal family. We're talking a bombshell so big, even seasoned royal watchers had to do a double take. Let's get into it. For years, Prince Andrew has been the elephant in every royal room, the scandal that never quite went away, the name whispered in palace corridors. The brother King Charles has been quietly trying to manage from a safe distance. But if a royal insider source is to be believed, quietly managing is no longer on the table. Because Andrew didn't just go quietly. Before the walls truly began closing in, he allegedly went to his brother the king, and made a demand so audacious, so breathtaking in its boldness, that those who heard about it were left utterly stunned. What did he ask for? Hold that thought. Because to understand just how explosive this demand really is, you need to understand exactly how desperate Andrew's situation had become. Let's rewind. Prince Andrew's fall from grace has been one of the most dramatic in modern royal history. Once celebrated as a war hero, a globe-trotting royal ambassador, the Queen's favorite son, he is now a man stripped of his titles, his military honors, his royal duties, and most critically, his royal lodge, the beloved Windsor home he has clung to like a lifeline. The Jeffrey Epstein scandal didn't just damage Andrew, it detonated his reputation. His catastrophic BBC Newsnight interview in 2019, meant to clear his name, instead became a masterclass in how not to handle a crisis. The public turned. The palace turned. Even his own family began quietly pulling the drawbridge up. Then came the civil case in the United States, Virginia Giuffre's lawsuit alleging sexual abuse. Andrew settled out of court in 2022, reportedly for a sum believed to be in the millions, without admitting liability. But in the court of public opinion, the verdict was already in. King Charles, upon ascending to the throne, wasted little time signaling that Andrew's era of palace protection was over. The security funding, the royal duties, the status, all stripped away. Andrew was, to put it bluntly, on his own. But Andrew, it seems, had one final card he believed he could play. According to a source close to the situation, in the weeks leading up to what insiders describe as the most precarious moment of Andrew's life, with arrest rumors swirling and legal pressure mounting from multiple directions, Andrew reportedly requested a private meeting with King Charles. And what he allegedly asked for in that meeting? Nothing short of a royal lifeline. Sources indicate that Andrew made a shock demand for full financial backing from the crown, a package that would cover his mounting legal fees, secure his continued residency at Royal Lodge, and, here's the part that left insiders speechless, restore a degree of his former royal status, or at the very least, provide him with a dignified and funded exit from public life. In other words, pay up, or face the consequences of whatever I might say, or do, next. Now, whether that was an implicit threat or simply the desperate plea of a man with his back against the wall, depends on who you ask. But palace sources suggest the atmosphere in that meeting was tense. Deeply tense. Two brothers, once united under their mother's reign, now sitting across from each other with the weight of dynasty and scandal hanging between them. King Charles's response, according to sources, a firm, quiet, and unambiguous no. Charles, who has spent the early years of his reign trying to modernize and slim down the monarchy, allegedly made it clear to Andrew that the crown could not, and would not, be seen propping up a figure whose very presence had become a reputational liability. There would be no blank check, no restoration of status, no royal rescue mission, and that, sources suggest, is when things took an even more dramatic turn. Because a man who feels abandoned by his family, who believes he has been cast aside after decades of royal service, who is staring down the barrel of potential legal catastrophe, that man becomes unpredictable. What happens next in Andrew's story is something the palace is said to be watching with extreme anxiety. Because Andrew still knows things. He has history, personal, political, and deeply sensitive history, stretching back decades inside the world's most famous family. And unlike other royals who have stepped back quietly, Andrew has shown he is not afraid to fight. The question hanging over Buckingham Palace right now is not just what Andrew will do next. It's what he could do next, and whether the monarchy is truly prepared for the storm that may be coming. Royal observers are calling this the most volatile chapter in the House of Windsor since the abdication crisis of 1936. Strong words. But when you look at the ingredients, a disgraced prince, a mounting legal net, a king who has drawn a hard line, and decades of royal secrets locked inside one man's memory, it's hard to argue they're wrong. This story is far from over. In fact, we may only be at the beginning. Make sure you are subscribed to Royal Chronicles so you don't miss a single update as this saga unfolds. Share this video with someone who needs to know what's really happening behind palace walls. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think King Charles made the right call? Or did he just ignite a fire he won't be able to put out? Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, in the world of royals, nothing is ever quite as it seems. This has been Royal Chronicles. We'll see you in the next one.